like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
This is David Taub in for John Mallows. Connect with me. Pro wrestling in the 1980s. Great superstars like Hulk Hogan, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. We're going to have one of those superstars live with us in studio. 436 MeTV, option 11, that's the way to reach us. Make sure you turn your sound down, get your questions ready, connect with me.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Welcome to Connect with Me. I'm David Taub, filling in for John Mallows. I am the producer of the Bill Manders program on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. John's filled in for Bill in the past, so Bill sent me here to return the favor. Okay, I admit it. I've been a pro wrestling fan since I've been 8 years old, much to the chagrin of my parents and now my wife. But hey, I can't help myself. It was the glitz, the glamour, the action in the ring, the storylines out of the ring, the over-the-top characters, the over-the-top interviews. I just couldn't get enough. And what I don't remember from back then or I want to relive, it's just a click away on YouTube. And one of those stars I love watching is this man, the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez. He's born in Texas, grew up in San Jose. He served in our Navy. Played college football at West Texas State before embarking on a 30-plus year career in the ring that's still going on strong. And you may remember Manny, like this match from Ricky Morton from the 80s. He wrestled for Jim Crockett Promotions, also known as the NWA, where they appeared weekly on TBS, the superstation on cable, in front of millions of fans every week. He's wrestled all over the United States and around the world in places like Japan and Puerto Rico and pretty much every place in between. Well, we're lucky to have him today in Fresno. I'd like to introduce Manny Fernandez. Get your calls ready. We'll be back right after this.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery Range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Welcome back to Connect with me, David Taub in for John Mallows. All right, my guest today, Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull.
You doing okay this morning?
Oh, we're doing good.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Manny, 30-plus years in pro wrestling. Tell us a little bit about how you got started. I know you were an amateur wrestler up in San Jose. So how'd you get from there to the Navy to West Texas State to here to where you are today?
Oh, I took the wrong turn somewhere along the way, didn't I? Instead of saying as an athlete, I went into the service and did something silly and then came back out and became an athlete again. But you know, the way I like the way you started this morning is kind of funny. When you started talking about wrestling in the 80s and the first name you popped out there was Hulk Hogan. I was going like, wait a minute, Hulk Hogan, a wrestler? He was an actor.
Not the same way you were.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking about, because when I think about wrestling in the 80s, I think of names like Harley Race and Terry Funk and Dick Murdoch, Blackjack Mulligan, Ray Stevens. Guys that brought me up in this business, that taught me this business the right way, and it was called wrestling then. These guys really wrestled and stuff like that, but I guess that's what I did in my life. You know, I got turned around in life and thought I was going to be an athlete, play football in my life, and then ended up in the service, served my country proudly. Really respect what happened this weekend with all the Memorial Day celebrations and stuff, and think about my brothers constantly. And the battle here defending the country and for the freedoms that we have.
Now, you served in Vietnam.
Yes, I did. Yes, I am. I'm a Vietnam vet, and you know, I feel for a lot of guys that are serving now. So these days, these holidays like that, they kind of affect me. But you know, I'm grateful that the people understand that it's not just a day to barbecue. It's a day to pay homage to a lot of people that laid their lives down for our freedoms.
Well, I'm sure when you served, you probably lost some brothers you knew.
I was very fortunate to be on the SEAL teams, and SEAL Team 2, Peter 4 stayed intact. We were very fortunate to all come back home. So I dealt with a lot of other things, but no, my team stayed together.
Amazing. Now, yeah, it's kind of interesting that you did your education after your time in the service.
Yes, sir.
You went to play football at West Texas State.
Well, I ended up at West Texas State due to the coach, Jordan Luca, recruited me when he was at UCLA. And for some reason, he ended up on Bill Young's coaching staff, who was in Baylor University with Grant Teff. And he found out I was back from the service doing nothing, and just got a hold of me and told me to try out for football. I said, "Nah, I can't play. But I ain't played in 4 years." And so I ended up at West Texas State, and that was probably the biggest mistake of my life. I wanted to be able to play football in my life. I ended up being a pro wrestler because, as everybody knows, West Texas State was known for some of the greatest pro wrestlers there in the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah, there's quite the connection. There was the Funk Brothers, Tully Blanchard, Tito Santana, and a lot of others.
Yeah, Ted DiBiase, Blackjack Mulligan, Dusty Rhodes, Dickie Murdoch. I mean, Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody. You can go on and on. I mean, West Texas State was known to put out some of the greatest wrestlers in the history of pro wrestling. So it was like I said, it was a U-turn that I made by mistake. Now, fortunately, I did. I met a lot of great guys that wanted me to be a pro wrestler, but I didn't want to be a pro wrestler. I wanted to be a football player.
Well, you did play a little bit of football for the Kansas City Chiefs. You may not be in the record book, but you were there.
No, I was on the roster. I was made the traveling squad every now and then, but I was on what we used to call a taxi squad. And every now and then I'd get in and do PATs, kickoff returns. But I was on the team. I mean, as far as that, you know.
But also around that same time, I mean, you would wrestle in the off season.
Well, I was kind of if and and, you know. I didn't really want to be a pro wrestler and had to go mess around in the ring and stuff like that with Dickie. And I wasn't into it. It wasn't my inspiration. I didn't aspire to be a pro wrestler. I was all into football, so I wanted to train more to make the team full-time, not professional wrestling.
Now, a lot of 80s and 90s wrestling, it was known for its gimmicks, but you were never a cowboy, you were never an Indian,
no.
You weren't even the ethnic stereotype of a Mexican wrestler that we found in the 80s and 90s.
No.
You were the Raging Bull.
Yeah.
How'd you get that nickname?
Well, basically, I got that nickname when I was at West Texas State. A lot of people understand that when you go back to college and you served your country in combat and stuff, it's a big difference. There's a big difference. You know, you don't come back as a kid coming out of high school going straight into college. You come back with a different kind of education than most people. So, you know, when you're there, it's kind of hard to deal with the little kid games and stuff. You think you're a freshman coming in, and the guys want to razz you and they want to play ribs on you and stuff like that, and you end up beating the heck out of them. And they wonder why you so mean, beat them up. So that ended up happening to a lot of guys at West Texas State and a few guys in bars. And Dick Murdoch gave me the handle Raging Bull. He reminds me of Raging Bull. He's always fighting people. So,
all right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about your time with Jim Crocker Promotions and wrestling in the mainstream when the 80s wrestling really hit big. I'm David Taub, and for John Amalos, this is Connect With Me.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Don't you ever hit me again!
Chief, I think we got a hit on our hands.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
Somebody, it's one thing, Daddy, you're under the gun and you're out on the run. So, Daddy, whenever you want to let it go, all you got to do is raise your hand, because nobody does it like R&R. And when we come to town, baby, whether it be cage, whether it be wire, whether it be just a squared circle, you know the double R's, the only express of professional wrestling, is going to do it. So remember that, Daddy. When the heat is on, we turn it on, and we like it hotter. That's exactly what we want from the Rock and Roll Express. The Road Warriors, the Dusty Rhodes and Chiquita and anybody else, because the R&R Express is going to be the #1 team in the Memorial Cup, and we will walk out with it because we are totally, totally awesome.
That was Manny Fernandez circa 1987. The art of a promo, an interview pretty much designed to generate interest in your match, interest in coming to the arena. Manny, does that seem to be a lost art today in pro wrestling world, the WWE?
Yeah, you know, it's more like we were very aggressive. We used the promo to get ourselves over. We talked about the opponent, and we tried to get the people to believe that we were really trying to get that opponent over in the ring or trying to hurt him. You know, now it's when I go to take my kids down there to the tryouts and stuff, and the things they do, it's a whole different story. I mean, they want to, I guess they want everything calm. They want you to believe it's a soap opera. I mean,
you got riled up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll get into a promo now. I can talk promos. That's one of the things that I love doing, is talking promos, getting the people fired up, especially as a heel. It's a baby face. But I didn't change that much. I mean, my promos stayed the same basically all my career. You know, I just made aggressive promos all the time.
Now, when you did it, I mean, was it pretty much off the cuff? Did the bookers, the producers say, yeah, Manny, this is what I want, go for it? Because today it's pretty much all written out for the WWE Superstars. I
used to like it when they call it flying by the seat of your pants. You go out there, you give your general idea, and then you put it together in your head. That's why, you know, those old-time promos, Ray Stevens was one of the best. You know, Harley was pretty good. Dusty Rhodes, you know, with even baby, towel power too sweet to be sour, and all that crap that he did. You know, he got himself over with the promo. If Dusty had to do it today, I think Dusty would be broke. I really do.
Of course, if you got a question for Manny Fernandez, 436-MeTV, option 11. We'll get you on the air. Now, speaking of Dusty Rhodes, we'll take a look of you and Dusty. You guys were World Tag Team Champions there. Oh, you look much younger back then, both you and I think that was the fat man, maybe about 100 pounds ago for Dusty there. Mm. But when you wrestled for Jim Crockett Promotions, not only was Dusty Rhodes your tag team partner, but he's also the booker of the show, or in other parlance, the producer or the showrunner. So what was it like teaming with a guy, your boss pretty much, guy who could designate what happens with your career?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dusty and me have been together for all my career. Everywhere Dusty and I went, we love-hate relationship. You know, I disagreed a lot of things he did, and he disagreed a lot of things I did. But you know, we stuck it out together and worked together to make territories hot, drew a lot of money, and to work for your boss and have that kind of understanding, it's not going to happen in another field. Most people get fired for half the things I did or things that I was thinking of. But he was fun to work with. Every now and then get on my nerve, and his nickname was Bevo. If anybody knows Bevo, it's a mascot for the University of Texas Longhorns, which makes a cow. So that's why I go around calling Bevo all the time. And he'd get on me every now and then about being too rough or too loud in the dressing room and too angry. But you know, it's just, he used to be frustrated and work with your boss. And
you drew money, so it's okay.
Yeah, I drew money, but I was a wrestler.
All right, we got a phone call. Caller, Manny Fernandez.
Hi, David, you're doing a great job there. I have a couple of questions for your guest. Is there any confusion about Raging Bull Jake LaMotta? I guess that came a lot earlier. That's a question. And the other question was, did you start the fighting professional, or did you start to become acquainted with fighting in the Navy? Is that where the beginnings of...
No, I grew up in the barrios of San Jose. I grew up in Horseshoe Barrio. I started acquainted fighting when I was 8 years old. So there's nothing new to me. The Navy SEALs made me tougher, yeah. They taught me how to do other things with my hands. The special forces training that I learned in Sambo in Russia and other places that I went and trained, yeah. But as far as fighting, no, I learned how to fight the streets of San Jose down there, Horseshoe Barrio on Bird off of Bird Avenue.
Now, did that Navy training kind of help you with respect in the locker room? Because a lot of rookies, you know, they may get hazed, or, you know, it's always tough in any profession to be a rookie in professional sports, but they get you a lot more respect, a lot more toughness.
No, everybody knew who I was. I mean, I didn't have to prove myself to nobody in pro wrestling. That's a lot of guys do back in the day, but nowadays anybody can be a pro wrestler. Not anybody could be one back when I started. But, you know, I didn't have to. People knew me. They still hazed me. I still took it. You know, you got to take it. I mean, you're a rookie. No matter what, how tough you are, what you did, everybody knew what I was. They weren't going to challenge me physically, but they hazed me, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I mean, I let it happen sometimes because I knew they were going to do it. And that was the fun part of being a pro wrestler.
Now, 1980s pro wrestling, especially Jim Crockett, I mean, you're mainly based in the South. That must have been a tough life. I mean, you were literally wrestling a different city every night. Why don't you take me just a typical Manny Fernandez Raging Bull week? You know, Monday through Sunday. How'd that week go for you?
Well, Monday would be our time in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Monday through Sunday would be, if we were in North Carolina, then we'd go fly up to Richmond, Virginia, and then we'd do Norfolk, Virginia, because it's right by 300 miles apart. Then we come back and we do probably Columbia, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, and then we do Atlanta, Georgia TV for TBS Studios. And then when we got to that point, we started flying everywhere and going to a different state every night. It wasn't one state like North Carolina, Virginia, which was far apart. North and South Carolina and Virginia, pretty close. You know, within 5-hour driving distance, we used to go. We went from driving everywhere to flying everywhere. So that was a big change for us because we used to love driving down the road. The boys taking care of each other. But once we got to that point where we were pretty big, we started flying we'd end up doing Atlanta, Georgia, and then that night we'd be in San Francisco, California. And if people understand flying, jet lag, and being the time difference, it wears you down. But you go 364 days a year. Only time you get off is Christmas Eve. So we did put in a lot of time.
I mean, did you even have a home? It seemed like you were living out of your suitcase.
No, I was pretty fortunate. One of my wives was a flight attendant. She was always gone. I was always gone. So it was easy home life. Nobody's over there. You know,
but speaking of home life, more serious. I mean, how hard would it to have a family, to have a normal relationship with your wife, be less on the schedule?
I waited for a long time. My daughters are now 15 and 16. I have a 15-year-old going to college now. So I waited a while to have kids, but it's hard on anybody. You know, when we got so big that we had to go to a different state every night, and you're on the road, we used to call them loops. When you did a 7-8 day loop, you never got home for 7-8 days. You didn't even see your family. You know, so it was a hard time on the road, but that's the career you chose.
And plus the temptations of the road. I mean, the women, the drugs, the alcohol. How hard was that?
Everything's on the road. Anything's like anything else in the entertainment business. Movie stars, rock stars, whatever. Anything's out there to tempt you. It's all going to be there for you. It's up to you to make that decision. And wrestling's like I heard one time some idiot say, pro wrestling made me a cocaine addict. No, it didn't. Pro wrestling has no arms and legs. You made yourself a cocaine addict. You know, it's not. It's about you. It's not about anything else. People got to understand about this profession. Any profession. It's you that makes that decision. It's like I train my kids nowadays, and I send them to WWE. I tell them the same thing. It's you to make decisions. I can get you there, and I can open that door, and you can be the greatest wrestler ever. But what you do from there is up to you. Your decisions are made by you, not by nobody else.
Now, one of those vices, I think 1980s pro wrestling is synonymous with the bodybuilder look, and I think we have a match.
Hulk Hogan look.
The Hulk Hogan look, but also the Road. We have a match we can show between you and Rick Rude versus the Road Warriors. And the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, they were revolutionary because they were one of the first wrestlers who had that huge, big bodybuilder look. Right. But, you know, it came of steroids and steroid use. What's your thoughts about steroids in the business?
Well, the first guy to do that was Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea. He's got that big by doing that. I mean, if you're going to start that, start from the beginning. Hulk and Animal were great individual friends of mine. And what they did in their time, like I said, that era was a bad era. And that was a bad thing to do. I didn't do it. My steroid was Coors Light and burritos. That's what I loved doing. I enjoyed my steroids,
but here we are. Here's you. That's your manager, Paul Jones, ravishing Rick Rude, and the Raging Bull. Look at that arena. I mean, full of fans.
I like that Bull Fernandez. Oh yeah, that's one thing we did do. We did draw a lot of people, and we did that. But you know, it's like actors in the movie industry. They want to do get all drugged up and stuff and go mess themselves up. That's on them. Same thing with our guys. They made their own decision. It wasn't done purposely. A lot of guys maybe had enough confidence in themselves. That's one thing I always had. I am the size I am, and I'm happy with it.
So you never touched steroids, never knew much about it?
Didn't have to. It's like people saying you're a minority. I just tell you, unless you can kick my butt, I ain't a minority. And half the people in this world won't kick my butt, so I guess I'm the majority.
No, it's the art of wrestling. I mean, look at the fans just go erupt when you guys were the bad guys, the Road Warriors were the good guys there. I mean, the fans, they believed. I mean, at least they were able to suspend their belief. I mean, we're not saying they believed everything in wrestling was real, but they were able to believe for that 30-minute match where you guys were going was entertainment, and they loved it. I mean, look at those guys.
They're huge. But see, the thing about that back in the 80s is this is where we drew money. We had to draw money to make a living. Nowadays, it don't matter. They paint the pig. They give out free tickets. They're under contract. They're going to make their money. Here we had to draw money. When you have to draw money, that means you're in charge of everybody on that card. You're responsible for the first guy opening the show making a living. If you don't make a living on top, he's dying on the bottom. Nowadays, it don't happen that way, you know. So.
All right, coming back, we'll talk about what you're doing today. You're involved with a local group in Fresno. They have an event coming up at Chancey Park.
Yes, I do.
This is David Taub in for John Malice. You're watching Connect with Me.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Welcome back to Connect with Me. I'm David Taub in for John Malice. Our guest today, professional wrestler Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, 30-plus years. You remember him, his heyday in the 80s. Jim Crockett Promotions, the NWA, which was aired weekly on TBS and around the world pretty much. Well, one of my favorite storylines from there was when you were teaming up. You were a good guy. You were teaming up with a man called the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. He was kind of a hippie that time forgot.
Yeah, he was a lost hippie. The lost art of wrestling.
I mean,
that's what I used to call him.
You know, he had the big bushy beard, kind of the, you know,
big
eyes.
Mama. Yeah, big mama.
The eyes that probably detected lots of use of recreational activities, I guess I'd say. Now, you were teaming with him. We'll go to the video here because this is a storyline, an angle. And in the 80s, you know, there we go, the money. Bad guy Paul Jones. He was a bad guy manager. He was offering you lots of money to turn on your friend. So, but the thing that got me is just the fans. They were the dramatic pauses here. Look at you. You're picking up the money. You're thinking about it. He takes your thing. You know, the fans were really buying into this. You know, when you're in there, when you're performing this, what are you thinking?
You know, like Jimmy Valiant, exactly. So when I'm thinking, I'm going to hit him real hard with that briefcase.
So you shake him. Oh, look at Jimmy Valiant. I mean, you know, he wasn't much of a wrestler in the ring. He was kind of more of a pantomime. Right. Oh, and you pop him. Now, did you keep that money?
Yes, I did.
That's good.
I so money.
Now, storylines. That came from the booker, Dusty Rhodes. Did you have any input?
It really did. If you want to know the truth, and a lot of people don't know the truth about this, it didn't really come from Dusty. I was in the doghouse. Every time I was in the doghouse, I ended up with partners like Shaska Watley, Jimmy Valiant. That was his way of punishing me. Every time I did something bad, he put me in the doghouse, I ended up with a lousy partner. So it built up to something good, though. That time I did with Jimmy Valiant, because Rick Rude had come in, they didn't know what to do with him, and it was a perfect storyline to put me with a guy that I could groom and team as a heel. And it ended up being a pretty good storyline, because Rude ended up being one heck of a worker.
Yeah, you know, we saw a little bit of the intro to your match with the Road Warriors. I mean, Rick was more of the body.
Yes, he was.
You were more of the worker, the talker.
He was a gimmick. I always told him that. You're the gimmick, I'm the worker. And we got along great, and he ended up being a great partner. And he used that line against me one time when I told him that, when we had to go an hour with Rock and Roll Express, and I wrestled for 47 minutes, and he wrestled like 6 or 7 minutes, and I got in the dressing room and told me, hey, you got to put in more time. He went, oh, wait a minute. You're the worker, I'm the gimmick.
He worked against you. Now, those 80s, I mean, you were wrestling sold-out shows, you know, in the mid-80s.
Yep.
What could a wrestler make? You know, what could you make in those eras?
Well, you know, it's like I was telling you earlier, we were responsible for carrying a card. And when you carry a card, that means you're responsible for everybody on the card. So we're sold out, you know. We're making, the top guys are probably making, I know I was making $7 to $8 grand a week. And that means the underneath guys, my guys that I love to death because they open carry the card, really. Danny Brown and Hector Guerrero's and Mike Davis of the world, they were making $1,500 to $3 grand, and they were happy. And I was happy for them.
Of course, yeah. Did you have to pay for your road expenses?
No. Oh, no, as far as gas, no. Once we started flying, no. Ted Turner covered everything. And Crockett, no. We didn't play that. We're not TNA, we're WCW.
Now, your team split up. Even though you were World Tag Team Champions, your team split up when Rick Rude left for the WWF. But you don't begrudge him for pretty much walking out on you in the promotion.
No, he didn't walk out. We both walked. That's what everybody needs to understand. We had both of us had an offer to leave. I chose because the pro wrestling started turning political, and once we got under contract, everything was going to change. So I decided to sign with Japan, where wrestling was still wrestling. And I was more of a wrestler than I was politically. I wasn't a political person. I was completely political incorrect. I didn't do a lot of things they wanted me to do. That's why I said I ended up in the doghouse. So once Japan came along, he made the decision. He said, I want you to go with me. I said, nope, I ain't going. You go make all the money you want in the world, I'm going to Japan. So,
now, you kind of preferred your independence as opposed to working for the WWF.
Yes. Yes, I wanted to make my own decision. I don't want them to make it for me.
All right, we got another caller. You're on with Manny Fernandez.
Hello, David. Great job. A Raging Bull question. Who was your favorite opponent to wrestle with? And when you come to Fresno with Lucha Extreme, who are you going to be facing?
I'm going to face a little punk named Brandon Pignon. He's been jumping on me, and I'm going to end up having to spank him a little bit more harder, so I give him a lesson. But, you know, the questions you asked me, it's been asked so many times on different radio shows, different TV things, I couldn't tell you. I had been fortunate enough to, I was a champion in every territory, and I wrestled some of the best talent in the world, some of the best guys in the world, because, man, it'd be hard to divide. Walter McDaniels, Ronnie Garvin, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Terry Funk, Dory Funk. How could I tell you any of those guys were better than one another? I mean, I had talent. I was fortunate enough. In my career, when it started, I had the best talent in the world to work against.
Now, you brought up a good point. You are still actively wrestling.
Yes, I am.
With a group called Lucha Extreme that's based out of Fresno. And you guys have a big event coming on June 15th.
Yes, we do. June 15th.
There we go. You see the information. Now, it's going to happen after the Fresno Grizzlies game. The Grizzlies are playing at 2 o'clock. You guys are going to wrestle afterward. You're facing Brandon Pinion. I mean, I imagine your wrestling style is a lot different today with all your aches and pains you built up after 30 years than it was back in the day.
I don't know. I mean, it hurts so bad, but once I get in that ring, it's different. It's like it's my domain, and I know it and everything. It looks like my body shoots back to 25 years old again. But, you know, I do what I can. These young guys, they're pretty good. They give me a run for their money.
Now, with Lucha Extreme, you're also helping train wrestlers.
Yes, I do. At the Lucha Extreme Training Center on the Golden State Highway. And we got a bunch of guys that moved on. We got a few that signed on with WWE, and I enjoy training guys because it's wrestling was given to me. It wasn't paid for. They handed wrestling to me. Dick Murdoch handed a thing called pro wrestling to me. He said, "This is an art that can make you a lot of money or lose you a lot of money, and you decide which way you want to go." And you know, it says this knowledge is given to you free. So that's what I'm doing.
We talked about a minute ago. What's the best piece of advice you can give an up-and-coming wrestler? They want, I have the body, I have the athletic skill. I want to be a wrestler.
I'll give them the advice that was given to me in 1979 when I first made my move from Amarillo to my big career change in Florida. Shut up and listen.
And save your money.
That's it. I don't know about that part. I blew all mine, but I enjoyed it.
Now, wrestling's treated you very well. I mean, it's been your career for 30 years.
Hey, money, you make money, you got to spend it. That's the fun part about making money. As long as you got something when you're old, you're all right.
I would say you still live in South Carolina, but you're planning to move back to Fresno soon?
I've been here for a while. Yeah, but I got a cabin up in South Carolina. My daughter's going to school in North Carolina. So, yeah, I got to stay close.
You are a proud papa.
Yeah, my daughter, she's a junior. She's got a scholarship offer at the University of Texas already. And my 15-year-old graduated high school, is in college at 15. 189 IQ, baby. Her first year in college, 3.2 grade average. Now 4.0, though.
It's been a fascinating half hour.
Thank you.
Covering 30 years in 30 minutes. May have to do another show.
Yeah.
But, June 15th, Fresno Grizzlies.
Be there, man. It's going to be fun.
All right, I want to thank the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. David Taub filling in for John Malice. He'll be back on tomorrow. You're watching Connect with me. Manny?
Thank you.
See you in the ring.
Yes, sir.
Ready, Bo? Let's go.
Dr. Shields activated, Mr. Sullivan. Automatic, sir.
And we're to push him to the limit.
Situation critical.
Base of action.
Can't break loose.
Peace or utter destruction. It's up to you.
Star Trek, Saturdays at 9, 8 Central on MeTV. Brought to you by Ventura TV.
Want more of me?
Me?
Go to MeTVFresno.com for schedules, information on your favorite shows, videos, pictures, and more. Go to MeTVFresno.com today. Exclusively brought to you by Ventura TV.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, Who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.